Well, it is National Stress Awareness Month, and experts say it's important to recognize the feelings of anxiety and burnout before they have negative impacts on your physical, mental, and emotional health. Dr. April Thames is a clinical psychologist and professor of psychiatry over at UCLA, wearing Bruin colors, by the way. She is here with a look at some of the best ways to cope when we are feeling stressed and strained, something we all can relate to. Good morning, April.
Good morning, Rachel.
Thank you so much for being here. You know, this is a very startling statistic. Americans report feeling 20% more stress this year than last year. So let's talk about some of the most common causes and triggers of stress for folks out there.
Absolutely. Well, we have to think about what stress is. Stress is basically your body's alarm that goes off when you feel threatened, when you feel overwhelmed, and also just even when you feel pulled in too many different directions. And we're in a society where it's very fast-paced. We're expected to respond quickly. We value speed. And also there have been a lot of changes going on. And anytime there's change or people don't know what the future holds, that can also lead to stress.
Uncertainty.
Uncertainty, absolutely.
That's a big one personally. I can attest to that. April, stress can have a physical impact if you don't control it. I want to ask you, how does your body physically react, and what are some of the signs?
So the common physical signs that I tend to see are when people are complaining of headache or neck strain, or they're complaining about gastrointestinal or GI issues.
I hear that a lot.
Yes, and so that is usually an early sign of stress, but when stress has become more chronic, then you start to see people getting the cold or the flu or more susceptible to illnesses, and that's when it's a signal that the body's been under stress for a prolonged period of time.
Is that because stress weakens your immune system and suppresses it, so people get sick?
Yes, absolutely.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
All right. It's important to find balance, of course. We always talk about balance, right? April, tell us, what are some ways to cope with feelings of tension and pressure?
Well, everybody's different, and so there is really no one-size-fits-all cure, but there are a few things that we can do. And often I recommend, exercise. It doesn't have to be vigorous exercise. It's just moving your body, getting out for a walk, socially connecting with other people. That's very important, because it's okay to also tell other people, I'm not feeling okay. And as a society, we're afraid to do that. It's stigmatized to say, I'm not feeling okay, but that's a kind of time to connect with people versus withdrawal. Another tip is to just get engaged and focused in something that is important and meaningful to you. And that's because we're so distracted on a daily basis that we don't have often just the time to focus on nature or a hobby, or again, connecting with other people. And so taking that time for yourself to really focus is important.
April, we were talking about that in the break, because today, unlike years past, there's social media.
Oh, yes. Yes,
a big one, right?
That's a huge stressor.
And you actually touched upon my next question. You said earlier that it's okay to tell people that you're not 100%. So tell us why it's important for us to talk about this with other people.
Yes, it's important because it's been so stigmatized to say, my mental health is not feeling okay. We're okay to tell people I'm physically not feeling well, but we're not okay saying I'm mentally not feeling well. And I think we need to have more of those conversations and be open and let people know I may not be 100%. I may not be fully engaged today. And the reason is that I'm dealing with my own stressors and I'm not at my best right now. So I think being open and honest about that is very key for helping to manage stress.
I think we're getting there. I think there has been a stigma, but I feel like today more people are open to talking about their mental health.
They are, and it's definitely getting better, and that's also where the media, social media, can be helpful, because people coming out about that and making it an acceptable topic is most helpful.
That's where social media can be a positive.
Yes, exactly.
April Thames, thank you so much. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.